We're joined by Ambassador S.R. Tayal, former senior diplomat, and also Burzin Wagmar. He's a West Asia expert from the School of Oriental and African Studies, University of London. He's joining us from London. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for being with us. Ambassador Tayal, let me start with you. The Prime Minister, in his opening remarks, he talked a lot about how Jordan really has a very moderate approach to Islam. And also he talked about the strong message that Jordan has sent out in terms of de-radicalization and moderation in the region, almost speaking like this region needs a lot of peace, and Jordan is going to play a significant role in that. Am I reading that statement correctly?
Very much so. In the politics of West Asia, Jordan has had a very special role, particularly under King Abdullah II. First, he's a direct descendant of the Prophet, so he has
Yeah,
a certain resonance among the masses. Then, as king of Jordan, they have a special responsibility as custodian of all the holy places in Jerusalem. That includes Al-Aqsa Mosque as well as Temple of the Holy Mount, etc. And for almost 2-3 decades, Jordan has tried to play the role of a moderate, of a bridge
right.
between the Arab countries and the West, particularly the United States. We all recall that after Egypt's reconciliation with Israel, the second Arab country to follow was 1994 was Jordan.
Right.
Our Prime Minister always says that the dialogue and diplomacy is the only way to resolve difficult problems, difficult issues, historical issues. Uh, Jordan has shown that way, and now, of course, Abraham Accord and other Arab countries are also joining that, UAE, etc. Then, as far as moderate Islam is concerned, Jordan itself is an example, and we all recall in 2018 when King Abdullah had visited India, there
Right.
was a congregation of almost 1,500 Indian ulemas and ummah where there was a discussion on tolerance and moderation in Islam. So a
Indeed.
very strong message was given from the soil of India with the presence
Indeed.
and blessings and support of King Abdullah II, that the way forward is for Islam and all the other religions to
Right.
be moderate, to be tolerant, and to be progressive and modern.
Indeed, Mr. Wagmar, coming on this subject as well, with Jordan being the custodian of the Al-Aqsa Mosque and other, religious sites in Israel, how does India's engagement with Amman affect also, India's standing with the wider Muslim world, given, as Ambassador Tayal was saying, the direct descendant that King Abdullah is of the Prophet Muhammad?
Well, the Hashemites, as the ambassador pointed out, have considerable cachet since the Transjordan period and independence from the late 40s onwards. And it was under King Hussein that diplomatic overtures were made. And in 1994, he visited Israel, and diplomatic relations were established following President Sadat and Egypt under President Carter in 1979. Jordan is the cockpit of the Middle East. Please remember that during the current war between airstrikes between Israel and Iran, it was Jordan which also assisted in capturing those ballistic projectiles from actually landing on Israeli soil. Some did, but Jordan played a pivotal role in that. And it just goes to show that Jordan does not see eye to eye with such radical elements in the Middle East who wish to stir up trouble, such as Iran or the Houthis, for example.
Right.
And Jordan has profound security linkages with both London and Washington on that count. It also shows in their own relationship, Mark, in that Jordan has a free trade agreement with the US since 2001. And incidentally, this is where India comes in. Jordan has a free trade economic zone out of which several Indian companies operate locally and also export to the US and elsewhere. Right. And that ties in with the fact of India being Jordan's fourth largest trading partner. Jordan is particularly known for phosphates and phosphoric acid as a mainstay export. Yes. It is not rich in hydrocarbons like the other Middle Eastern countries, but on this count, Jordan is. And India took a step about 2 decades ago to set up a dedicated facility for export of phosphoric acid exclusively to India, because it meets so many needs, from fertilizers to steel, and now even to lithium-ion batteries and EV. And I must point out that this visit of the Prime Minister after 37 years is opportune, given that we have had 2 state visits, King Abdullah II in 2018 and the late King Hussein in October 1986 to New Delhi too. And it was on King Hussein's watch, Mark, we must remember, that the largest evacuation in Indian and 20th century history took place when 1.7 million Indians from Gulf were evacuated on Amman-Bombay air bridge flights operated by Air India and Indian Airlines, 488 flights over 59 days, airlifting those Indians. And India does maintain and remember that this happened on Jordanian soil and through the good offices of Amman as such, which saved 1.7 million Indians between August and October 1990, well before war commenced in January 1991.
Important lessons.
I felt I must point out as a historian.
Important lessons of history. Thank you very much. But Ambassador Thayal, Prime Minister also spoke about, new energy being brought to this relationship. It's almost like a new chapter is beginning. He talked about trade, fertilizers, digital technology, infrastructure, people-to-people ties. If you can dwell a little bit, I mean, we know that fertilizers is important. We have been taking potash and phosphates from Jordan for a long time. India is reliant on that. But in terms of digital tech, infra, India has a lot to offer, isn't it?
Yes, India has established the information technology center in Jordan, and the objective is to train almost 5,000 Jordanian experts as IT on IT, different aspects of IT. And now, as we move forward, as West Asia moves forward, Jordan, India move forward, the future is in IT, in AI, and cloud computing, and all of that. So there, India has something to offer, and certainly this partnership with Jordan would be of great help. And yes, more energy is being injected into this very civilizational relationship. And this mention was of the air bridge, when almost a million Indians had to be rescued from Iraq. So all that there's a lot of fund of goodwill. And another mention which was made by the co-panelists, that the free trade agreements of which Jordan is already a member. Now that India is embarking on its own FTAs, etc., it would be very useful to have a BTA or FTA with Jordan, and our companies can operate from there and have access to the US market, as was mentioned. Already there are some apparel companies, some ready-made garment making companies of India in that free trade zone of Jordan. So that will be another way where very rapidly there can be expansion. Of course, phosphates and fertilizers, they are very vital for India's own agriculture. We have invested in a fertilizer phosphoric acid company in Jordan, and more exports will be from there. So the bilateral dimension of our relationship will get a boost in economic sector. I believe the iTech scholarships, which were about 35 per year to Jordanian professionals, they are also being increased to 50 scholarships per year. There are about, I think, 5,000 Jordanian students in in India studying and or have gone back. So that is another bridge between India and Jordan. So there are multiple ways in which our relationship is flourishing, and with Prime Minister's visit, it will certainly get a boost,
Indeed.
both in bilateral dimension and of course in our understanding of West Asia through the Jordanian eyes.
Mr. Wagmar, comment on that bit about West Asia, because I mean, how does this relationship with Jordan complement our relationship, India's relationship, that is, with you know, Saudi Arabia, UAE, and other countries in the region?
Well, the relationship with the UAE is right at the very top, as you can imagine, in profound linkages, and not just economically, Mark. It's moved also into the defense and atomic energy sector too, with India now servicing the civilian reactors that have been installed with South Korean construction in the UAE. But that's another question. The Saudi factor is also important with defense, security, and intelligence. And also, the ambassador will recollect that Mr. Doval has had visits also to Amman in the last 5 years. Okay. And defense and intelligence relationships, particularly security and intelligence, are profound on an intimate level between New Delhi and Amman, and have been so for quite some time. And I may also, again, come in as a historian, if you'd permit me, Mark, in the late 1990s, Amman was the venue also for intelligence discussions between both intelligence chiefs of India and Pakistan, okayed, of course, at the highest official level, but to have, not encumbered with diplomatic protocol, but to have frank, forthright talks. And those talks did take place in Amman between both intel chiefs. So Jordan was willing to provide a quiet atmosphere, and for both parties antagonists to repose confidence. So there is considerable goodwill on the part of Jordan in India on that count to be seen as well. And insofar as the Indo-Jordan Center for AI Technology at Al Hussein University campus, Amman, is mentioned, please note that therein is also housed India's Param supercomputer. I believe there are very few in the Middle East, and Amman is one such venue where it is installed, because India has exported to it. Others have been exported elsewhere in the world, but the Param has been exported to Jordan, which is an exception in the Middle Eastern context of things.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much, Ambassador S.R. Tayal, a former senior diplomat, and Burzeen Wagmar, a West Asian expert from SOAS University, London. Thanks for helping us understand this by unpacking the story for us.